We all know him. The ruthless, cold-eyed head of the Corleone family. The deranged drug lord Tony Montana with a gun in his hand. And the blind colonel who danced the tango most beautifully in film history. But wait. Take a closer look at the real man behind those roles. Less than 1.7 meters tall. A distinctly Italian face, not at all flashy. A guy who was once rejected by Hollywood as too short, too ugly, and whom they tried to get rid of on set. So why? How could an outsider, a small and shy man like that, defeat all of Hollywood's beauty standards to become the most powerful Godfather on screen? The answer doesn't lie in the Oscar trophies. It lies deep within the psychological wounds that have never healed. Welcome to Celebs Before and After. Today, let's travel back in time to unravel the question: what transformed the pain of an orphan child into an enduring acting genius? Chapter 1. The South Bronx Hell and Loneliness. To understand the smoldering fire within Al Pacino, we cannot begin with the red carpet glamour. We must go back to where it all began. The hell that was South Bronx in the 1940s. Imagine a boy named Alfredo. His father left when he was only 2. He grew up in the suffocating embrace of his mother and maternal grandparents. Terrified of the harsh realities of the streets, his mother forbade him from ever leaving the house. Alfredo's world was confined to 4 narrow walls. This confinement forced him to create imaginary friends and act out plays in his head to distract himself. But the real tragedy struck in 1962. That year, Pacino was 22 years old. He lost his beloved mother to illness. Less than a year later, his grandfather, the only father figure he had, also passed away. At an age when he needed support the most, Pacino plummeted to rock bottom. He left home, became homeless, slept rough in theaters, and turned to alcohol to forget the harsh reality. You see, for Pacino, acting was never a profession to gain fame. It was a way out for survival. When he stepped onto the stage, he was no longer the suffering, impoverished Alfredo. He could be anyone he wanted to be. It was the only place where he felt truly alive. People often talked about his turbulent childhood, calling him Sonny, the rebellious child. But in a rare moment of candid reflection on his past, he confessed a simple yet heartbreaking truth.
People said I was a spoiled child, but that's not true. The teachers were right when they said I lacked a father figure. I wasn't an out-of-control child. I was simply too lonely.
It was this quiet loneliness, deeply ingrained in him from his childhood, that later created the profound, haunting depth in Michael Corleone's eyes. Chapter 2. The Godfather War. Let's fast forward to 1971. This was a time when film history was about to change. But for Al Pacino, it was the beginning of a brutal war. Can you believe it? When director Francis Ford Coppola nominated Pacino for the role of Michael Corleone, Paramount Pictures vehemently objected. They yelled, "Who is this short guy?" They criticized him for being too short, too ugly, and completely unknown. In the eyes of the big names in Hollywood at the time, Michael Corleone had to be a handsome, blonde, white American like Robert Redford or Ryan O'Neal. Pacino was an outsider, hated on set. The producers scrutinized every scene, whispered behind his back, and were just waiting for an excuse to kick him out of the project. The atmosphere was so suffocating that Pacino felt like a condemned prisoner awaiting execution. The isolation drove him to panic, and in that moment of utter despair, a crazy thought flashed through the mind of the man who would later become a legend. He recalled that dark moment. The pressure was so immense that once, on the way to the film set, I thought, should I sprain my ankle? If I sprained my ankle, I wouldn't have to make this damn movie anymore. Imagine, we almost lost a great Godfather because of a single attempt to hurt himself to escape. But fate intervened in a single scene. That was the turnaround. The scene where Michael Corleone shoots the mob boss Salazzo and the police chief in the restaurant. Look closely at Pacino's eyes in this scene. The way his eyes darted around. The utter confusion and fear before pulling the trigger. That wasn't acting. That was Al Pacino's genuine fear. He channeled his own trembling fear of being fired into the character. When Paramount executives saw the preview of this scene, they were speechless. They knew they couldn't find anyone else with such expressive eyes. Michael Corleone was officially born at that moment. Chapter 3. The Abyss, Scarface, and Rebirth. The 1970s were a golden age, but also a period of self-destruction for Al Pacino. With his immersive acting style, he didn't just play the role, he let the character possess his body. As police officer Serpico, he carried the trauma of betrayal into his sleep. As the robber in Dog Day Afternoon, he exhausted himself in sweat-drenched screaming scenes. The result? He became an emotional athlete with permanent trauma. The exhaustion and a series of failed films in the early 1980s pushed him to the brink. Pacino disappeared from the big screen for 4 years. Critics began whispering, Al Pacino is past his prime. But they were wrong. In 1983, he returned, not quietly, but with a cataclysmic explosion. He brought forth a monster. Tony Montana in Scarface. If Michael Corleone was water, cold, calculating, and repressed, then Tony Montana was fire, frenzied, arrogant, and incinerating everything. When Scarface premiered, critics hurled insults at the film, disgusted by its violence and vulgarity. But the general audience went wild. Why? Because Pacino acted with the most primal energy. He transformed a hateful criminal into a symbol of burning desire for power. The line, "Say hello to my little friend," wasn't just a line. It was the roar of a wounded lion returning to reclaim its throne.
Say hello to my little friend!
Pacino proved he could act with deadly stillness, but also with explosive power that would terrify. The end, the legacy of the madman. There's an ironic paradox in Hollywood. Al Pacino missed out on Oscars for his greatest roles like The Godfather or Serpico, but won for his portrayal of the blind Colonel Frank Slade in Scent of a Woman in 1992. Many say it's a compensatory award, but when we see him proudly shouting, "Hoo-ah!" and dancing the tango with breathtaking beauty, we know that it's well-deserved recognition for a tireless and persistent journey. Looking back on over 50 years of his career, Al Pacino left behind more than just roles. He left behind a great lesson in resilience. From an orphan in the Bronx, ridiculed for his appearance and shunned by powerful figures, he overcame all prejudices to etch his name into history. He teaches us that your background doesn't determine your destiny. It is the scars of the past that forge your character today. His life was never a straight line. It was rough and rugged, like a witty yet philosophical quote he cherished. I once asked God for a bicycle, but I knew God doesn't work that way. So I stole one, and I asked God for forgiveness. A saintly bad boy, a flawed genius. That's Al Pacino. And you? Which version of this legend do you prefer? A cold, calculating Godfather, Michael Corleone? Or a reckless, carefree madman, Tony Montana? Leave a comment below. I'm curious to know your cinematic tastes. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to join us in deciphering more legends. Goodbye.